Now, football has always been a game of passion, but in the modern era, things have changed. That passion has now turned into an endless cycle of hype and abuse, all amplified by social media. And now, because of this one device, anyone can connect with their favorite footballer, meaning that one day they could be world class and the next they're finished, with fans and pundits reacting in extremities, meaning they are going over the line. But this new habit of abusing players online is not new at all. It's actually something that's been in the game for a while. Back in the early 2000s, you'd have newspaper articles, press conferences, or a bunch of disgruntled fans that are waiting outside of the hotel. But nowadays, it's so much more accessible to abuse these players. And let's be honest, you are a part of the problem. Yeah, me too. We have been there where we've been angry at our favorite team, our favorite player, and made a post online berating their performance. And we saw it just on the weekend, live in action, when Kai Havertz missed a sitter against Manchester City when Arsenal were up 1-0. Man City give the ball away. It's Kai Havertz right in front of the goal. All he has to do is put it either right or left, but this guy misses the entire goal. And at that moment, I was enraged, but I thought to myself, am I really gonna go online and tweet out Havertz is finished because of one miss? No, but I was close. And in that same game, he went on to put a crucial challenge in before Arsenal, finished off the game, and then also score. This guy was immense in that second half, and again, proved the haters and the abusers wrong. And this has been a running theme since Havertz joined Arsenal. This flip-flop of, do we actually like him, or is he a finished striker? And in my honest opinion, I do think he is a finished striker. But do I think he's a finished player? No. This is still a very capable footballer that on his day, you can get a lot out of. And it didn't just only happen to Havertz against Manchester City. You got to go back to the FA Cup where Arsenal played Manchester United. And again, it was another one of these games that was shrouded in online abuse thanks to a Havertz disaster class. He had a bunch of clear-cut opportunities in this game and put them wide, unfortunately leading to Arsenal going out of the entire competition. But there were hordes of people that were throwing online abuse to not only him, but also his wife. Whereas back in the day, there was no ability to do this because there was no social media. There is no Instagram. Facebook. What's Facebook, bro? I'm gonna have to write up a letter and try and send it to the football ground to, abuse this player. There's no point. And it's this very object that is leading players to go without social media. And I think that is the best choice. I honestly think that every, world-class player or every player that is playing for a big team should have a manager that is just managing their social media and should be actually written in the contract that they're not allowed to manage a public social media page. The likes of Lamine Yamal, this 18, 17-year-old, this guy should not be running his Instagram, with this many followers, because if he has one bad, couple of weeks, the amount of abuse he's gonna face is indescribable. This device has actually ruined football, this ability to just target any player at any time. But luckily, over the years in football, there have been many players that have overcome this abuse that they've faced from the media and also social media in general. And I think one of the first names that come to mind is David Beckham. In the '98 World Cup, this guy went from England's biggest villain to a treble winner and one of Man United's all-time heroes. Because in a game against Argentina, he was sent off for this petulant kick against Diego Simeone. So we know that obviously Simeone definitely aggravated this assault. But this action would go on to haunt Beckham because England went on to lose this game, leading to them going out of the competition and David Beckham becoming a scapegoat for the entire nation. The media vilified him, the headlines were insane, and this was a young, promising player that was playing for England's biggest team. But Beckham did what any solid player would do. He let his actions do the talking. And in that following campaign, he mustered up 6 goals and 11 assists, with crucial performances in the Champions League, including 2 assists in the final, again being a key part of Man United's treble-winning season. Now, few players have been targeted as much as Raheem Sterling by the press. Before the 2018-19 season, British tabloids could not get, Raheem Sterling out of their mouths. Having an opinion on his spending habits and even his tattoos, the media would constantly portray him unfairly with abuse not only just in the papers but online too, with racially charged verbal attacks all over his social media. But that 2018-19 season, Sterling replied in the best way possible, delivering one of the best seasons of his entire career. In the Premier League for Manchester City that season, he got 17 goals and 10 assists, winning PFA Player of the Year and also the Football Writers Association Player of the Year, whilst also winning the domestic treble with Manchester City. And this meant so much more because Raheem Sterling is just like any other guy that grew up in the north of London, you know, northwest, whatever you want to call it, you know, from this background of working class individuals. And he went on to prove not only the media but also just the people wrong. Now, a lot of you might not remember this, but Luka Modric was labelled the worst signing back in 2012 by Marca. They claimed that the Croatian midfielder was the worst signing in La Liga that season, doubting his ability to succeed at a club like Real Madrid when transitioning from Spurs. But as we know already, not only did Modric prove Marca wrong, but he proved to the world that he's one of the all-time best midfielders, which is just crazy to say. He is at table 1, munching some spaghetti bolognese with the likes of Iniesta, Xavi, Zidane, Pirlo, Jib, everyone. And I think it all came full circle in that 2017/18 season for Luka Modric, leading Real Madrid to their 3rd consecutive Champions League title, whilst winning the Golden Ball at the World Cup, guiding Croatia to the final, also becoming the first player since 2007 that's not named Ronaldo or Messi to win the Ballon d'Or. His journey from this underrated, overlooked midfielder to one of the world's best players is something that everyone could be inspired by. And again, this undertone of abuse that he faced on social media and by media in general was the fuel that got him to where he was and where he is to this day. Another player that I see get abused time and time again on social media is Bruno Fernandez. Now, Bruno arrived from Sporting to Man United back in 2020. However, by the 21/22 season, he was heavily criticized for being a stat padder, taking too many shots, attempting too many passes, scoring only penalties, and not performing in the big games, with social media being flooded with opinions about this guy. But despite this, to this day, he's remained as one of Manchester United's best players and one of their most important players too. Even when pundits, you know, criticize him and his ability to just captain this side, he still goes out there and tries to play football. This is a guy that is captaining Manchester United at their all-time lowest point. What else do you expect? It's not like he's playing in this Manchester United team that has all the legends. There's guys that are on this pitch that are definitely worse than Bruno, yet he takes loads of the flack, loads of the abuse, and all the harsh opinions from a lot of the big pundits in football. Another more recent example of social media having a direct impact on a player happened to Spurs' Brennan Johnson. Now, I think it was just this season where Brennan Johnson was facing backlash for missing some big opportunities for Spurs. And of course, these Spurs fans had nothing better to do. You know, they haven't got any ambitions in life. You know, they haven't won trophies. They don't know what to do. Harry Kane's gone. You know, their owner is bold. What are they supposed to do? So they lamented Brennan Johnson, abusing him on Instagram. All his comments being flooded with, why are you not finishing that chance, mate? Yeah? You ruined the opportunity to have turkey on Christmas. And eventually this got to him, leading to him deactivating his entire Instagram account. And not only did that action lead to positives, but it led to him going on this goal scoring, you know, run of form where he was scoring like week in and week out, looking as happy as ever, leading this Tottenham side through, you know, these injured times. And I think that's the perfect example, because throughout all the noise, Brennan Johnson was in the middle of it. He was able to really get within himself and find his form. And I think this is now just a growing trend with players struggling to cope with, you know, the constant abuse they faced online, especially instantly after games. And I think it's so obvious because the use of social media just in general negatively impacts the brain, partially affecting teenagers going through adolescence. It can have a direct impact on the way their brain works. If this can happen to anyone, then of course it can affect footballers even more because their accounts are so much more public. They're not just anyone walking down the street. These are guys with big followings and, you know, playing for some of the bigger, most lucrative teams in football. So in conclusion, I think it's safe to say that phones have ruined football. You know, phones have ruined footballers, and social media is one of the worst things to happen to modern football. And I'm pretty sure that all the best players in football right now, they definitely have a burner account, or, you know, they got a social media phone and hopefully another phone. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Is this a real problem? You know, should all footballers delete their social media and get in the real world? And of course, shout out to Pavilion, the brand right here. This is their Instagram. They sent me this t-shirt. You know, it's amazing. They sent me this one, and they also sent me a Ronaldinho one as well. So any brands that want to send me some clothes to wear in the videos, you better pay me. But yeah, if anyone from this brand is watching this, send me more. You know, you only sent 2 t-shirts. Send some more. But yeah, guys, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Also, you can join the channel if you want to support even more. And of course, stay safe, stay blessed, and peace.